I ask you on this Patriot Day, a day of prayer and remembrance, to reflect on the life of someone that was lost that day and to honor them. Reflect on the loss to their families, the changes to our communities. Think not of the empty chair, but the people that filled those chairs. Think of the void left in the hearts of their families.
That was Jim OGONOWSKI speaking at the Massachusetts State House today. He's the brother of American Airlines Flight 11 Captain John OGONOWSKI, just one of numerous family members who spoke at ceremonies across New England. We're joined now by two people who lost loved ones on September 11th. Kristina Olsen TYNES lost her sister, Lori Nera, and Loretta Filipov lost her husband, Alex Filipov. Both were passengers on American Airlines Flight 11. Thank you for being here and welcome. Loretta, do ceremonies and commemoratives like today, do they help or just add to the pain?
I think I'm always going to live with the pain of not having Al with me, but the ceremony today was very beautiful, and I think today was more a celebration than a mournful time.
You didn't go, though, today, did you? To the ceremony?
Did.
You did, and Kristina
well,
did.
what happened, we started out in Concord at an interfaith breakfast, and drove in for the 10 o'clock services at 9:15, but there was a lot of traffic. I think all the dignitaries were at the ceremony and no one was directing traffic. So I missed a large majority of the ceremony, and then I was there for the rest of the afternoon.
Well, let's hope I get it right this time. You didn't go today, Kristina. Why did you choose not to go?
Well, I wanted to be with my immediate family, my mom and my brothers, and so we gathered at the cemetery in my hometown, Rowley. And my mom has a plaque for my sister there next to my dad's grave. And we gathered there, we planted flowers, and my sister Lyra had written a poem for my sister Laurie, and she read it at that time.
You have it with you, don't you?
I do.
Could you share it with us quickly?
Of course. Do not weep for Laurie. Her merry heart lives on. Her loving soul is well and whole, only her body gone. Do not weep for love lost. Love will never part. The space we share is everywhere in the eternal heart.
That's beautiful. Loretta, this had to be an especially difficult day for you. You and your husband would have celebrated your 46th anniversary this weekend.
On Sunday, September 14th. And instead, I will be celebrating with all the people who come to the Al Filipov Peace and Justice Forum.
When is that?
It's Saturday night, September 13th at 7 o'clock at the, do you want me to tell you where? At the Trinity?
Well, we can do, we can actually, if people want to call the station, we'll get the information from you and we'll absolutely share it.
And then Sunday also, and we have a speaker who will talk on those issues of peace and justice.
Well, I want to get back to peace and justice in a second, but I want to stay on the interpersonal for a second. How long have you two known each other?
We just met.
And you're holding hands. What is the relationship? Both of your relatives were on the same flight. That was the first connection between your families. What has the bond been like that grows up between people whose sole common experience was the horror and the aftermath of 2 years ago? What's that like?
I think when you suffer, you want to?
No, go ahead, Kristina, and then Laura.
When you suffer a loss, a deep personal loss, like the one that we've suffered, there is an unspoken understanding between you. You don't have to, we say we just met, we don't know each other, but we do know each other, and that's a very beautiful thing. I feel like I have a whole nother family with the group that I belong to, Peaceful Tomorrows, and as a result of that bond that we have through our mutual suffering.
So you draw support from one another and strength.
Absolutely, and even though we only saw each other this evening, I've been looking forward to meeting more and more members of the group, September 11th Families for Peaceful Tomorrows. I found shortly after all the things were done, the services, and that I needed to honor my husband in a special way, and I knew that peace and bringing peace to other people and around the world was the way I wanted to do it. And I saw an article about someone who'd gone to another country to witness peace for those people. And so that has really sustained me.
You know, speaking of people in other lands, one of the strange and unfortunate ironies of today is your son, who many people know, the great writer for the Boston Globe, David Filipov, as we speak is in Iraq, is he not?
Is today Thursday?
Today is Thursday.
He'll be leaving tomorrow morning with a convoy. He's in Jordan.
How hard is that for you?
That is probably one of the most difficult things, because it's like I will be on watch for the next month, listening, watching, waiting for word of his safety. Email and phones are wonderful.
Kristina, on days like this, the second anniversary, does the replaying of the pictures from that horrific day, does that help or hurt? Or do you think maybe the country has had enough of it? Should the media pull back? Or is it important to keep reminding people of what happened on that day and who caused it and who's responsible for it?
I think that we needed more time to reflect more deeply on the events of September 11th and to ask the difficult questions. I think it's, would be difficult to get the answers, but I think we haven't really spent enough time. However, people need to do that. I don't think focusing on horrific images is necessarily the way. But to begin to ask the questions and to look more deeply into things than we've looked
And
so
one of the
far.
ways you're trying to do it is through the organization you've both mentioned in Passing Peaceful Tomorrows. Briefly, what exactly is it? I know it's an organization of some of the survivors of the victims of September 11th. What do you do? Why do you exist?
It's September 11th Families for Peaceful Tomorrows is an advocacy organization put together by family members, people who lost loved ones on 9/11, who want to work on nonviolent responses to terrorism and in honoring our loved ones' memories in the most positive way that we can by reaching out to people who suffer.
And you went to Iraq and Afghanistan. In fact, there's a picture of you, I believe, was that in Iraq or Afghanistan?
That was in Afghanistan in June of 2002.
And when you encounter other people with whom you have bonds, the more than 3,000 people, families who suffered like your families have suffered, if they don't agree with your approach to how to deal with the aftermath, is that strained relations, or have people been respectful? You're shaking your head.
Everybody has to grieve and do what they need to do. This is my approach and what I believe, and I'm so grateful that I have found a group and people that believe the way I do, but I respect everybody's decision to do what they need to do.
Absolutely.
Well, it was great to have both of you here, and we thank you so much for
you.
sharing
Thank
an
you
evening on
very
such an
much.
important night for you. Thank you so much, Kristina Olsen, TYNES, and Loretta Filipov.
And as we go to a break, we'll listen to a song Kristina wrote for her sister Lori, The Art of Being Kind.
So many gods, so many creeds, so many paths that one